Welcome to PNW Prop Stars, the only Seahawks-only gambling show in the multiverse. I am your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by two fine gentlemen. Downscreen is the Princetonian of parlays, Mr. Wilson Kahn, and just to my left on YouTube is Mr. Adam Emmert, back home in Montana. Boys, the Giants, they're hauling butt cross-country. No Malik Neighbors, let's say that out of the gate. I don't know, I feel like most people think that this is a cakewalk. Most in the Seahawks world I see out there, most like, oh, Seahawks by $1 billion. This will be a steamroller one. So I'd love for us, we're going to look at the props, the parlays, and see where are our heads at for our Seahawks hosting this game at home. Wilson, how you doing, bud? How's everything as the Northeast becomes quite autumnal in your part of the world?
Yeah, it's gorgeous fall weather here right now. The first couple weeks of October are always beautiful here in New Jersey, so enjoying that. And I am of the belief that the New Jersey team is not going to have the most fun trip out to the West Coast this week.
Ooh, a little teaser, that's what we call that. Adam, has the snow began to fly where you're from in Montana, or not quite yet?
It's funny. I know you love that phrase. Look, that usually ends up around Halloween. Actually, right now, it's the most beautiful time of the year. For whatever reason, every year it seems like I have to travel all the time during this time of year, which pisses me off. But I'm home now and trying to enjoy it. And it's beautiful out here. And the only thing that could make this weekend better, Clinton, with the weather and the leaves and all the things I'm doing around here, is a Seahawks throttling of the New York Football Giants. So
the New York
let's get to some bets, buddy.
Yeah, let's get to these bets. And of course, if you're out there on YouTube or you're hearing it in your ears on the floor of the Hawkra stream out on the Believe Network, all good. But if you're watching it on YouTube, we'd love for you to subscribe, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast. So easy, so simple. It's free, really helps storming towards 5K, but we can only do that with more people getting on board and joining the flock. And hey, look, if you get some value from any of our shows, well, pay it forward a little bit by sharing it with 12s also. So boys, I coined this one. I got a beautiful picture of Kenneth Walker III on YouTube for those that might be listening on audio. And I'm coining this one, Shake This Moneymaker? Question mark, question mark, question mark, 3 question marks as we look into this, because K9 just, look, he's 2 for 2, right? Plays a tough Broncos team, goes bananas. Week 4, a Detroit team that shut down other running backs like Connor previously, 12 carries, 3 touchdowns, four receptions, goes bananas. But is this a Kenneth Walker game, or are we going to be going other places? So, that's just want to tease the audience there and say what's what about that. Also, we always have to look back before we can look forward. Guys, it's just important to know our history.
Are you excited to do this week, Clinton? Are you excited for some reason? Are you happy? Are you a happy boy?
I may be a happy boy, right? Because I could why I like it so much is I get to reuse the graphic. So what's on screen there is I just get to cross out week 3 and put 4. The week 4, which is back-to-back, belly-to-belly, PNW Prop Star Champions, is little old me there, Wilson. So I'm pretty happy about that. Wilson, you took it over. So I feel like you have to talk to us about what the heck happened that you couldn't get 1 of 4 across the plate here, dude.
Well, I totally jinxed it. I think it was either a text or a Discord message after the Lions' first drive. Montgomery had like 40 yards on the first drive. And I was like,
yes.
Oh, this is going to smack. You didn't even get close to 70 by the end of the game. I'm okay with it because I'm still in the lead on the year, guys, for the PNW Prop Stars, having made a profit of 90 cents. So yes. I'll take that.
Hey, Adam, at least one of the 3 of us are above. I think that's in the red. Maybe it's in the black. I think it's
in the black, baby.
That's in the black. Okay. Well, I'm bullish that Wilson's in the black, but you and I, sounds like we got some work to do, bud.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not just in the red. I'm in the deep red. I think it's called like maroon at this point. I happened to hit on one that I thought would be like a surefire one, and I guess it happened to hit, but this has been a disaster so far this season. So yeah, it's been a little rough. Looking to hopefully start to bounce back, or maybe I'll just continue to suck because I see these and I And I look at my picks and I'm like, oh no, I suck again.
We shall see. I did notice that you're taking a bit of a different tact from what's on screen on YouTube. You went a little conservative last week with the minus 120, minus 190. Your minus 190 hits, but of course, when you're at that level, doesn't hit for too much. The only thing that saved me last week was Geno Smith, once again, over 21 and a half completions at minus money. The one that really stung me and Wilson is that the 2 touchdown ones that we were tethered to for Geno, because DK Metcalf's ass cheek and then Jake Bobo's elbow putting the ball at the half-yard line became Kenneth Walker touchdowns. I still believe we're going to see more Geno tutties, because that's just the way it's going to, the regressions, the mean, if you will be there. All right, so I'm up first. And for the folks who are maybe here for the first time ever, you see it on the board here on YouTube. But if you're listening, we do 4 bets. Bet 1, bet 2, bet 3, $10 a pop. Choose anything you want on the board, any odds, whatever you like. Bet 4, we call it the Fail Mary, the Dollar Scratcher, the Sunday Rubber, and that has to be plus 1,200 or longer odds to qualify. And I don't think, Wilson, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're through 4 weeks. I don't think we've hit a Fail Mary yet, which might be our worst Fail Mary drought to date.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I think we have to get one of those, boys. We need one of those to salvage, I would say salvage our respectability, but I think that left long ago. All right. So I'm on the tee box. I'm up first. So let me see where we're taking us. All right. There's a small correction on screen there because I thought it was minus 130. It's actually at minus 140, going into a bag of tricks that Adam has played in the past. It's just more punts by the G-men. Straight up, you could take more points by Seattle if you wanted to, and that's, a lot of plus money there. Vegas thinks the Giants will punt more. I think the Giants are gonna punt more. Just a tale of 2 offenses, a tale of 2 different types of quarterbacks. No Malik Neighbors coming across into a loud environment for a QB that tends to get a little confused at times with Daniel Jones. I feel pretty secure that the Giants simply are going to punt the ball more than our Seahawks. Adam, do you think I'm on to something here as a bet 1?
Hey, man, we are all scrambling to get anything we can each and every week. I think we're all kind of having a difficult time adjusting to the new Coach Mike led team and trying to find our groove and knowing exactly what this team is going to look like week in and week out. I think this is probably about as surefire as you can get. But since it says minus 140, the 3 and the 4 combined, it is minus 170. I hope you agree, Wilson.
Oh, well, yeah, Wilson, he kicked it to you to see if the math was okay for you, that you agreed. But in general, do you think this is, well, what do you think, dude? Do you think, could you envision a world where we actually punt more? I mean, if we do, that's a very bad day for our Seahawks, and I just don't see it going that way.
Yeah, I don't envision that world either, which makes sense why this one's at 170.
All right, sorry. That was a noise. All right, so 140 it is. Adam, you're up next because you were second last week. Where are you going, buddy?
All right, so I guess it depends on what order you got my crappy text.
Oh, that's true. I put this one out there first because it came in first. I'm like, oh, he wants to go big, bold, audacious, bet 1.
Okay.
Change the temperature so it's there.
Okay. Well, this was intended to be my second down bet, but that's all right. We'll go with first because, I'll miss on him whether it's first, second, or third down. It doesn't matter. Seahawks minus 12.5. I honestly do believe that they're going to have a difficult time stopping this passing game. It does feel relatively unstoppable right now. And look, they have talent on the defensive line. Don't get me wrong, but none of them are Aiden Hutchinson. Like, they're all good players, but I don't see any great players on the Giants defensive line. And if the Hawks could hold up last week against the Lions in Detroit, I think they can hold up again this week. You give Geno an ounce of time and nobody's covering the triplets out there. It's just not happening. So I think the Seahawks are going to score a bunch of points here. And I think they win by at least 13. And so that's why I went with 12.5 for a juicy plus 185.
It is juicy. It's a little, dare I say, spicy, Wilson. But Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Okereke on linebacker, they blitz a decent amount. Are you feeling a blowout there, Wilson?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely on the same page as Adam here, and I'll get into that in a couple of my other bets as well.
Hey, all right. Fair enough. A little teaser. Careful, teaser coming out. All right. You are on bet 1 though now, Wilson. Where are you taking us, man?
Well, I was pretty pleased with the odds on this one, and especially given that Neighbors is out. I have the Giants to score under 17.5 points at -105. If they get more than 17 points, I would consider that a defensive failure. The last time we played the Giants, they scored 3 points. Clinton and I were there, so I really don't envision, even with the defensive performance being lackluster last week, I think this will be a good opportunity to bounce back and face some of the opposition we were used to in the first 3 games.
And the nice part is you get this bet in, you sent it before Malik was officially out. The number probably moves a little bit south from here, meaning less points scored. They haven't scored that many throughout the year. I think what's their high water mark? It might be 20 or just over 20. Now there's a few things there. Like if they played the Commanders with a kicker, they win that game. And if they don't drop a couple balls that were right in the hands of their receivers versus the Cowboys, they probably win that game. So I'm trying to be the voice of, I watch a bit more Giants football just living out here. And I'm like, man, they're not executing, right? So that's something. So I'm not gonna be like, well, if this, if that. But yeah, there's a chance that I think they still sneak into above 17 here. But without Malik, it gets very difficult in my opinion. Adam, do you see it any other way?
How many years have you been doing Seahawks podcast with us, Clinton?
Like 6,
How many
7.
years?
Yeah, 6 or 7.
6, 7. Yeah. So this would be year 6, 7, where you're irrationally way too high on the Giants because you're just embroiled in the East Coast bias. Like, look, this team is not good. It's just not good. It's going to be a top 5 draft pick team. And I love this pick by Wilson. Great, almost even odds. This is great find by him, man. And again, getting it when he did before the line, I'm sure moved even further down with Neighbors being out. Nice work, Wilson. I think you're going to hit on this one.
There you go. Well, it sounds like Adam wants to be your neighbor, and a neighborly thing to do would be to invite him to the tee box. So bet 2 is yours, Adam. Take it away.
All right. Well, let's go to the land of make believe then, which is I'm going to hit on a bet. So this one was going to be my first down bet. Just get something on the board. I know Wilson doesn't love the low minus odd bets, but it was the only thing I hit last week. It's the only thing I've hit in 2 weeks. So just get something on the board and try to stop the bleeding here a little bit. DK has been featured as a true number 1, and Grubb has done a great job of coming up with concepts to get him open and get him the ball. And we all see that they have no intention of running the football more than 1 quarter game. So I'm going to bet on the pass game all day long. So yeah, DK over 4.5 receptions. That seems like free money.
Wilson, for me, I know it's 170 at -170. This is the type of world where I don't envision DK getting less than 10 to 12 targets again. So if he gets those targets, if you give a cat a cupcake here, man, if that's familiar to you, if he gets 10 to 12 targets, does he smash bot 4.5? Does he get to 5 receptions?
Yeah, I think so. And it's really so refreshing to see him really featured as a true number 1, as you mentioned. And I'm actually going in a DK direction on second down too. So
yes, you are. Well, then, you know what? You're right there. Adam smacks it right down the middle. And at -170, sure, maybe it's not carrying 300 yards, but if it's carrying 240, it lands in the beautiful short stuff. He's got a nice pitch, to get on the green in 2. We like that. We like that, man. So Wilson, you got anything?
Fairways and greens, buddy. Fairways and greens. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm not used to that, but I hear it. All right. So Wilson, what you got, dude?
Yeah, so DK coming into the week is 3rd in the NFL in receiving yards, at over 90 a game. And this week I'm just taking him to have a below average week and can take that at plus odds with 70 plus. So it feels pretty safe to me. And I do like the odds with how he's being featured. He should get to 70 just about every week. So yeah.
Yeah, similar logic. He's hit three games in a row at above 100. First time in Seahawks history that's ever happened for a wide receiver. Giants have a couple of younger corners who are battling back from injury. They're on the field, that they're not the feature guys. It's a bit of a mishmash back there with who's their starters and who's going to play more. They really rotate a lot of their different corners at this point, which could also be a recipe for confusion. Let's call it that. And DK certainly has shown his ability to break the big one also, where if you get a big chunk play, 40, 50, but in one go, then this becomes pretty attainable pretty quickly. Adam, do you think he's smashing through this again, or is this about the upper ceiling you're seeing for Sunday?
I think he smashes through this. I really do. Look, we've talked about it obviously in the beginning of this pod already, just his usage and just how hot Geno is right now. And I think that there's an extreme chance that he gets over 70 plus yards. I love the odds for this. I actually kind of went in a flavor of this for my Phil Mary, but yeah, I can see where his head's at on this. I have a hard time betting on anything on this team other than Geno, DK, and maybe, Tyler and JSN. Everything else is a total mystery to me right now.
So it sounds like we're all on a bit of a DK gravy train. And why not already? It's like, hey, one of those things, until proven otherwise, this might be a really smart play. And at plus 105 doesn't seem like too big of a stretch. So Wilson, I think we're liking what you're laying down so far. Brings me to my second down bet. I'll put it on screen. This one's a little careful and risky for a second down bet, but maybe with back-to-back W's, I'm feeling myself a little bit. The Seahawks have been starting pretty quick on defense. Even Detroit, first series was 3 and out. Jaron Reed gets a sack. They're punted. He's doing the Michael Bennett hip thrusts, and away we go. At plus 230, I know it's a risk, but you no risk it, no biscuit. Daniel Jones, hostile environment. Better yet, man, would it be super cool if we're up 7-0 and they're getting the ball and they're already feeling the pressure of we got to start passing already immediately. I would like that. So it's a big number. It could be over in an instant, but it could also hit in an instant. Wilson, do you think I'll be cashing this one? And how will you celebrate when I do?
The thing that's tough about this one is they're going to go 3 and out. So you're going to have 3 chances to get that sack on that first drive. So good luck.
Yeah, the only thing that's perverse about this, and the bet is that the Giants will give up a sack. Seattle will get a sack on the Giants' first drive. I don't think I said that. The only thing that is perverse on this is that there is that, oh man, do I want them to convert an early third down so that I get more chances at this thing, which I hate that perverseness now that I think about it. But Adam, that aside, how will you celebrate when, let's say, who's going to get the sack? How about that? Who do you envision getting that early sack?
Well, first, I just find that the hubris of winning is shining through here. Going with a plus 230 bet for your second bet of the week here. Careful. And again, it's one that is predicated on just one series. Those ones really make me squeamish. I understand that's why you get the plus 230, but a couple things in your favor. One, the Seahawks had 97 sacks against the Giants last time they saw them. Maybe it was 150. I lost count. And it seems as if Leo and Mafe are going to be back for this game. And I think that makes a gigantic difference in terms of the pass rush. So it's certainly not impossible. And if you will an extended drive for the Giants in the first part of this game on their first drive, just to hit your bet, your hawker is going to take a ding, buddy. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I can't do that. All right. So we'll just settle on a 3 and out, but one of those 3 being a sack, and we'll give it to Leo Williams because it's a revenge game. Done. We're settled there, and I'll be cashing the 230. I like it a lot. All right, Wilson, that makes you up on the tee box for third down. Where are you taking us?
Well, I've been continuing to try to cook up these parlays where I'm just taking a line and then the over-under. So this week, I see the game being not very close and the Giants not scoring very many points. I imagine a game similar to the one against the Dolphins, where I think that was the only time this season I've actually managed to hit this particular type of parlay. So yeah, Seahawks winning by a touchdown or more, and the score staying under 43.5, which feels pretty big for this game. So yeah, leave it at that.
And again, no neighbors, so that number's probably going to come down a little bit still before you got in on this. And the thing is, they're like a simple bet to put together, and they feel logical. But then you see Vegas be like, yeah, but that's plus 270 to get both of those right.
Yeah,
you're actually threading quite a needle that you might not be aware of. But Adam, is it worth the squeeze here? Does this feel like, yeah, man, you already have them winning by 12.5, so that part's a smash spot, I guess. So the under for you, do you think it stays really low, or is Seattle just going to just open the barn doors and score, let's say 30, 35 themselves?
This one hurts my feelings. This is so much better than my first bet of the week here because you only have to lay 6.5 points in, even at 28-10, you're still well under the 43.5 here. This is a fantastic bet. Not quite a Wilson 300, but dang, plus 270. That is some spicy odds. I love it, man. This is good stuff here.
All right. So another ringing endorsement. So Wilson, I'm not sure if that makes you feel good or terrible or both simultaneously, bud.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want Adam's endorsement at this point in the season, but I do appreciate the compliment.
Putting the stink on it. I'm putting the stink on it.
That's it.
Okay, the reverse jinx is in full effect right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, somewhere DCH is tingling and parts unknown, right? So and we love you, Doug. Yeah, he is. All right. So perfect. That's Wilson's third down bet. I think that takes it to me. I'll see what's on screen, then I'll know for sure. Yes, it does. All right. So yes, my second down bet is higher plus wise than my third down bet. What of it, right? This is how I'm going to roll. But I am at a plus 162. And guys, we talked about this, so I'm not going to say it too many more times. Adam, you said it perfectly. Like if there is places to lay money right now with what we've seen with how Grubb wants to run this offense, how Geno is executing, and how DK is getting the ball. Okay, then Geno 250 plus passing yards, DK 60 plus receiving, and I'm getting a pretty spicy plus 162 for a combination that I think is really more along the lines of 50-50 at this point. Wilson, what do you think? Is it more 50-50 or is Vegas going to smack me with my hubris?
I can see the 250 being a slight question just in a game where we expect to be ahead fairly comfortably. But yeah, the way the offense is being run, like Adam was saying, we only seem to remember to run the ball 1 of every 4 quarters. So I like it. Yeah.
Okay. Not a glowing endorsement, but that's okay. I don't need the jinx either. But Adam, do these things add up for you as a logical path to plus 162?
Yeah, if I were to ask Donald Trump what he thought about this bet, he'd be like, "This is the greatest bet in the history of bets. I love it because Wilson didn't give a glowing review. This is a glowing review." And yeah, man, I honestly, the 250 pass yards, I think he'll probably smash that. And we started talking about the receivers at the beginning of the year, and it's like, okay, pick your poison, one of the 3. Going to be hard to figure it out. But, we've talked about it a couple times in the pod already. Just DK is being consistently used as the featured guy week in, week out. That's probably the guy you put the cheese on here at plus 162. Who am I to argue? Greatest bet in the history of bets. So good job.
Got the ringing endorsement. Love that. The only thing that is tingling for me, the spidey sense, is that the NFL does this thing where it's like, oh, if this happened 3 weeks in a row, it's sure to happen the 4th week, and then it just doesn't. The NFL is weird that way, and patterns don't always. Well, they rarely just keep on going that way. So I am a little bit heightened with like, is this the kind of game where just something gets turned the other way and we just break this pattern we thought was secure? But then I think about the opponents and the venue and everything else, and it's great weather again. It's getting into that area where it's still good, but you can start to get that rain and get those 50-degree days. No, it's 70 degrees and like sunshine with a little bit of clouds at kickoff. It is perfect weather for Geno to go do his thing. So yeah, that's where my heart is at on this one. All right, so then that leaves, I believe, Adam, you with your third down bet.
Yeah, well, I had to go with a parlay as well, and just thinking that it might be fairly easy for the Giants to end up kicking 2 field goals rather than, I don't see them punching it in, but I could see them moving the ball a little bit, especially on the ground. I mean, we haven't really stopped it except for against the Dolphins. And I do think that Dimes is going to be a little more consistent and harder to deal with than, say, Skylar Thompson. So they're going to move the ball a little bit. I don't see them punching it in the end zone. They're going to struggle in the red zone. So this is just 2 field goals overall too, right? So
yes, totally. Yep.
Yeah, I could see 3 field goals getting kicked in the first half, and then JSN 50 plus receiving yards. Again, pick your poison. Just trying to get to something that might start to make up my massive losses, which is how you should bet, right? You should chase bad losses with increasingly more difficult bets. That's what I was told anyways. So that's what we went with here.
Wilson, does that logic, is he chasing the dragon here? Now he did get to a Wilson 300 here. I think the only person who did it this week, but is he chasing the dragon a little bit too much for your liking?
No, and for legal reasons, what I'm about to say is a joke, but it is a classic time-tested adage in betting that you can only lose 100% of your money, but you can win way more than 100% of what you started with. So you got to
Oh,
keep
good point.
betting, and you got to keep betting long odds.
He's gotta chase that rainbow, baby. It's there for us. It's there. That's what this whole show's about, really, right? So, and of course, it does bring us into, guys. Look at this. Look at this. I should put some theme music behind this, but I did this too. I created this last night. The Sunday Rubber, the Fail Marys on screen there, just to tell people what it's all about. Once again, plus 1,200 or longer odds to qualify. I'm back on the tee box. So, speaking of the long odds, where are we going? For me, this one is simply, look, if this is where I think if I'm laying this on like a third down bet and I think this pattern could happen, well, what if I just tweak it a bit? What if I just goose it? Just goose it a little bit. So what you see on screen now is Geno 300 plus passing yards. So he does that another week. Geno 2 touchdown passes this time, and Ash Cheek doesn't hit before the ball gets in. I think he might get 3 touchdowns in this game. We shall see. And then DK kind of has to have another monster day. This has to be over 105.5 yards, gets me to a nice round plus 1,200, which we always love the numerology. The interesting part about DK and where that number is too, because Vegas is sneaky. The last 2 games when he went over were 104 and 104. So just below what this would be, but maybe we get it this week. So Wilson, as Fail Marys go, we know they're long shots, but are you feeling this one can come down in the end zone, Golden Tate style, as a perfectly cromulent touchdown?
Yeah, I think so. You're going to get burned on the Geno TDs, though. I think you're going to have a similar story to last week.
It might be. All right, so Adam, I know you're up next. I think you got something similar cooking, so take it away, bud.
Yeah, man. So on the same path as you, but all I had to do was boost DK up just another 4.5 yards here, and I get to take out the variable of the Geno TDs, and here we are at plus 1,200. And again, we're on the same page here. The most consistent thing to bet on with the Seahawks team at this point in the season, Geno and DK. Here we go.
Yeah, this is the one when I saw your bet come over, I was like, oh, I like that one better than my one, because at those 4.5 extra yards, like, now that could be the difference. We shall see. He could end up at 108, and I'm ringing it, and you're not. But Wilson, side by side, which one would you take if you had to take one?
Definitely Adams, yeah.
I agree. All right, take yours away, bud. Go ahead.
I've gone in a different direction here. Seahawks to blow them out. This is just a fun one to root for, between 25 and 30 at plus 1,300. With my luck, they'll probably win by 31, but I would love to see this one hit. And I also can see it hitting with the Seahawks keeping the under. There is a world where that happens. So
there is a world where that happens. Adam, I want to pretend the world where Seattle does win, but it's a 31-point win, so we could, just rag on Wilson all day Sunday, but still be happy Seahawks fans. Give me a score, please, where Seattle wins by 31, Wilson doesn't cash, but we're happy Seahawks fans.
Yeah, I could see a 34-0 type game, a big goose egg. Daniel Jones goes down another 15 times in this game, and Seahawks continue to roll offensively in terms of the passing game. I one quick question on this. So is this Seattle to win by that many points, or Seattle to win and then score between 25 and 30 points?
This is about the margin. Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
Okay, cool.
Out is to win by. So 34 to 31 does not hit, right? No, doesn't hit. But yeah, 30 to 10. Nope, also doesn't hit. Let me try it again. 35 to 10, that would hit. That'd be 25-point differential, and Wilson would cash that one. So hey, it's a dart throw, trying to go for the bullseye there, but that's why it's plus 1,300. That's why it's only $1 bet. That's why it's the Sunday Rubber, the Fail Mary. All right, so I was able to compile these all up on screen, and you can see I even made the mistake twice that it's not 130, it's 140 on my most punts there. That's on screen.
170.
No, we're gonna put this out on Discord.
You got the part right the first time. 170.
So it's gonna be another fun weekend, guys. And here's my 2 cents. Even on our preview show, which I hope folks go check out, Seahawkers What If, led by Mr. Phil. He brought a great theme this week that was all about cashing in on Danny Dimes. You can find that out on YouTube or the For the Hawkra audio on the Believe Network. I was saying to myself, man, it's not going to be a blowout. It won't be a blowout. It's going to be closer. It's going to be closer. And then when it came time to pick the score, I landed at 24-18. I was like, well, it's actually going to be, maybe right around there. Wilson, do you think we end up in a spot where Vegas is right again and it's like 6.5? It doesn't sound like you see it closer. It sounds like you think if it pitches anywhere, it's going to pitch more to the high side of a more potential blowout. So do you have a final score that is ringing in your brain?
Yeah, I heard 28-10 earlier in the show, I think from Adam. I really like that. I think that sounds just about right.
Okay.
Clinton, I'm surprised. I mean, I'm also in the New York media market, but you've really been brainwashed. I guess it's a lifetime in the market that really gets you. This is not a good football team, and this is not going to be a close game.
I hope you're right. And I hope that we're just so much better than them that it's like it's just tilted. It's like, okay, these are different tiers of NFL good right now. I just see enough from this team that they stay in games. If they just convert a little bit more, they kept the Commanders to all field goals.
They would have beat a team that is projected to be terrible in the Commanders and has no defense, and they would have beat a Dallas Cowboys team that has quit on their coach. Oh, they're so competitive, and they still
beat
lost
the Browns
both those games.
And they beat the Browns,
which may be the second worst team in the league. Whoop-de-doo-dah-day. Daniel Jones is a dumpster fire, dude.
I hope I'm wrong. Daniel Jones against the Cowboys went like 21-29. He used the middle of the field just like Jared Goff did. So I just think there's got to be some semblance of that. Daniel Jones has a pretty okay offensive line now that he could stay upright and he could use the middle of the field. Now, again, Malik Neighbors out. It's going to be a big deal. That's all. I was looking for Wan'Dale Robinson props. There was one, and it was a garbage, like chase this thing. That was not available. But if there's no Malik Neighbors, this would be my last tip for the audience out there. There's no Wan'Dale Robinson props yet, but by the time the game goes, I bet there will be. He's going to get a ton of targets his way, and he's just a pain in the butt type of receiver. Not rooting for it, but
he's Wan'Dale Robinson. He's not a pain in the butt.
Okay,
he's a delightfully average receiver at best, dude.
I just think that I don't think you guys have that one correct. Is what it boils down to. But that's okay. That's
hey, you're right. DJ Moore's still way better than Terry McLaurin. It looks that way this year for sure. Yeah.
Okay, quarterbacks matter, man. Quarterbacks matter, right? So give DJ Moore a decent quarterback once in his career, and let's see what happens. And I like Scary Terry. I'm not anti-Scary Terry, but give the man a quarterback. All right,
saying.
Yeah, that's all good. That'll wrap it for today, my guys. Look, we got a lot to do. We got Sunday, and then boom, we got to turn this thing around, hopefully with a nice crisp W. And then we got to get ready right back on that horse and then go play the 49ers. I'm not looking ahead yet, but we got to figure out what day of the week it's going to work for us to get our picks in next week. We'll figure that out later. Anything else before we dip?
No, man. Just excited to watch the Giants come into Lumen Field and struggle as they do traditionally and be that, bottom feeder team. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait. Let's all go 4 for 4 this week. I think I don't even care if I'm leading at the end of it. All 4 for 4. Gravy for everyone.
Gravy for all. Gravy fries for all. All right, Wilson, you have fun. Adam, you have fun. We will check in next time on PNW Prop Stars. I think, boys, with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.